You want to know why they're so inconsistent, CSGO? It's not your crosshair or your mouse pad or your mouse itself. It's not your keyboard. It's not your sensitivity. It's not your keybinds. It's the fact that you change these things so much that you think these things are going to affect your gameplay so much. You think this mouse is magically going to make me a better player? No. Changing it every week isn't going to make me a better player either. But let me tell you something. When you change your crosshair or change your sensitivity, what happens? You may notice that your performance goes up, and that motivates you to play even better. But what happens the next day? Your performance goes right back down. Let's talk about that. It's called the honeymoon effect. Let me show you in a graph. As you can see on my screen here, or your screen, you should see a graph that I've drawn in paint. I'm going to visually show you what happens when you change your crosshair, your sensitivity, or your keybinds, right? So what happens is day one, you've just changed your crosshair, and you should notice that your performance actually goes up. And then later down the line, after you've maybe won 2 or 3 games and you've dropped 30, 40 bomb, your performance actually goes down, and it goes lower than what your average performance is. And what happens to a lot of people is when this dip happens and you've hit the bottom, players will change their crosshair again, right? So this is when somebody changes their crosshair, and somebody might change their crosshair again, and then their performance goes back up. And then they win 2 or 3 more games, and then the performance goes back down. And then they change their crosshair again, and it goes up and down. Crosshair changes again, up and down. You can see where I'm going with this, right? Problem are these changing the crosshair moments, right? Placing the problem on something external. Now, this is known as the honeymoon effect. And now why this works is because when you've changed your crosshair, your brain has to actively work harder to use the new information on its screen to get more kills. So if you've changed your sensitivity, your brain can no longer rely on muscle memory to move your mouse. It has to actively apply motor functions to know where to go. So that's where your performance goes up, because you're autopiloting less. And what happens is when the dips happen, it's when your brain kind of gets bored of doing this, and it adjusts good enough. But when your brain does something good enough, it maintains that good enough state. It doesn't go further than that. So then your performance actually dips down. And what happens is you'll change your crosshair again, and then your brain will go back to, oh, I gotta do the work now. And it goes up, but then it goes down because it gets bored. How do you fix this? Now, a very, very, very easy solution to this is just stop changing your crosshair. Find a crosshair and stick to it, because your performance will look like this. If you stick to something, stick to a crosshair, your performance will go up, like I said before, then it'll go down. And now what happens is if you stay persistent and consistent and you don't change your crosshair, your performance actually goes back up. And it goes up a little higher than what your baseline is. And if you maintain this crosshair consistently, your performance will actually go up at a very steady pace. Now this looks way better than the one before, all right? So how do you fix it? Number 1, stop changing your crosshair. Number 2, stop blaming your crosshair. It's not external factors why you're losing, it's internal factors. Your teammates aren't the reason you lose, okay? And number 3 is focus up. If you want to play better, stop autopiloting. When you're running around with your gun up your ass and you have no idea what's going on in the game, you're just running around trying to get kills and you drop 20 kills, that's not fun. Every time you reload, I want you to do something. Tell yourself, focus up. Reload, focus up. When you focus up and you're actively thinking about the game, your performance skyrockets. That's all I want to say. So I hope you learned something new. Honeymoon effect is very cool. I didn't discover the honeymoon effect. I found it. One of my friends told me about it a few years ago, but this applies to anything. So yeah, have a nice day.